Good morning, good afternoon, good evening wherever you are. The stream is about to start. Grab your favorite drink. Sit back and relax. You're chilling with HexAsians. With your host, Crypto Vince, Uncle Kevin Hex, and Middle Class Working Man.
HexAsians? Nice.
HexAsians? Nice.
You did it.
Namaste, HexAsians.
Konbanwa.
Namaste.
Konnichiwa. Konbanwa.
Konbanwa.
Ohayo gozaimasu, Vince.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Yeah.
And to our mods in the chat, Miss Exquisite, Anigaseo, and
What?
so
Okay.
I know everybody is waiting for Wheels only to join the stream, and I will be leaving in 10 minutes. It's like I just wanted to show my face just so that people know that I still have to stream every week. I haven't sold any hex so that I can go. And I just came in especially to thank Grant for arranging this amazing documentary. Sadly, I could not or cannot personally contribute to it directly right now. Mainly all my hex is staked. So yeah, but I assure you, once it is released, I will support it completely and make sure that the torrent is always seeded. But
Shit.
That was a good one.
but yeah, I am looking forward to have it translated in Indian languages, and I am looking for a connection with some real professionals who do voiceover as well. I did get a connection, but yeah, that first the egg, then the hen. Like first let other things, and it's a big topic to discuss on the stream. So we are hoping for a very good discussion. So from just before we start the stream and discussion, a quick word from my sponsors. Today's stream, let us know what you are drinking, because today we are drinking.
Oh goddamn! What have you got today? Don't move. Just hold it up. Don't move.
Oh,
Yobik.
Yobik.
Sakura
Yobik.
flavor. Oh, very Japanesey.
Yes, and it's Sakura means cherry blossom flowers. Cherry blossoms. Yeah, don't confuse it with Momo Sakura. If you don't know who Momo Sakura is, then don't Google it. That's and I think I have said too much already, and I'm about to leave. But before that, before I leave, I just had a once message like, and I have discussed it in a previous stream. Please be careful who you onboard into Hex, because we are seeing a lot of infighting going on, and it is mainly because we shield to traders, and the traders, like, who's that guy, switch array or something like that, uh, he bought and sold, and now and after that they start bitching about it. So anyways, thank you for hearing me out. I'll be hanging in the chat, and I will let uh, our charts ninja to enter this chat, and see you. Bye.
Thanks, Deej.
All right.
Raj.
Thanks,
you,
Vinny.
Raj.
See ya.
Safe working.
Okay. Which
All
frees
right.
up a spot.
We've got 2 spots actually, which is good.
Oh.
That's fine.
Nice.
No worries. All good.
3 spot
Hey,
only.
yeah, that's fine. Hey, Grant. Well, thanks for taking time. I think is it 5 a.m. at your spot where you are?
We thought it was going to be 5, but I'm actually on the East Coast, so it's only 8. Though I would have been here bright and early in 5 a.m. So I've done my fair share of the middle of the night live streams. So I would have been here
Nice.
regardless. But yeah, I got a little extra sleep this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you for
kind of
joining
Thank you for
us.
coming today.
Yeah, absolute
all
pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
So now
Hey,
you have proof. You have proof of HexAsians now.
Yeah, I mean, despite what Richard said in Copenhagen, right? Like, come on, man. Come on.
So
Hey,
by
by
the
the
end,
way, we were trying to
Go
find
ahead.
out like who was the gentleman that mentioned HexAsians at that event.
Oh, that's a fantastic question.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
My back was to the room where I was in the camera, filming camera from Richard from where I was. So I don't know, but I wonder if the second angle wouldn't show that, or if someone who was there, because the room was full of a lot of people who are very familiar with the community. Someone who was in the room might just be able to remind us. They would
That's
know who it was that said something, but I personally couldn't share with that. I don't know.
great. I was about to say, Grant, but I think by the end of the show, you'll be craving rice, noodles, wonton noodle soup, curry, and all that. So we'll bring you.
Oh,
We'll bring
man.
you.
I
Welcome,
tell you
welcome
what,
to the family. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I tell you, my absolute favorite is pho. Oh my goodness! Put me under. Oh,
Delicious.
next
Forget
level.
about it.
Absolutely next level. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right.
Couldn't
there
get
you
And
go.
then I saw a reaction video the other day where Rachel Ray was making it, and there was a reaction video, and it was
yeah.
so bad.
The,
Oh, what she did! That dish was unreal. Oh, it was so bad. Anyway, just
Oh,
little anecdotal message there.
That's the Uncle Roger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. The Uncle Roger reacts. Oh my
Mhm.
word, it was unreal.
No, he's always hilarious. Grant, just for the sake of, I suppose, if we have any viewers at the moment who are in Asia, who are watching us from the Asia time zone, and that's why you're up at 8 o'clock. Do you want to do a quick introduction of yourself and what you're
Sure,
doing
yeah,
for our entire
absolutely.
community, and go from there?
Yeah, so I'm a part of a filmmaking team who we've been working together closely for over a decade now. We've made several feature-length documentaries as a part of our history. We have members of our team who have won 5 Emmys for work that they've done. I've got nominations, but never a victory. And alongside a lot of the work that we do on behalf of corporations, we also look for stories that transcend things that we would want to launch into with passion. It's the reason that we got into filmmaking, is to have the autonomy to tell the stories that speak to us and the ones that we feel deserve to be made without permission from others. And several months ago, we had been introduced to Richard, and that came after months of nagging. by a fellow filmmaking friend of ours who said you really need to take a look at this story because we think that it's really unique and powerful. And so we did a discovery call with Richard, which then led to us trying to go to his house, which we've learned is a big no-no. We're learning lots of big no-nos in the crypto space, but that's one of the first that we learned. And so instead, he said, "Listen, I don't disclose where I live, but I'd be willing to meet you in Estonia if you would, you and your team would come over." And we went and we spent a couple of days with him, and we verified the virality of this story, the fact that this is a story that is unique, it's timely, it's inevitable. And it's one that our team felt like we would love to dive into. And then we were met with the Hexagon community. That came post Richard. We weren't even aware of what a strong community existed. And one of our first introductions was Patrick and I going to Washington, D.C. and arriving at a funeral home where Freddie Quotes was filming a music video along with a room full of not to misspeak there, whatever, but everything between dolphins and whales and everything in between. But certainly the some of the most unique characters within the Hexagon community and those who carry a lot of weight publicly and intellectually in the space. And they were dressed in garb and the music was blaring and we were doing playback and they were dancing on a coffin. And I mean, it was just a surreal scene and a way to be introduced into that community. But post that event, we went and had dinner and we were able to express, just how deeply we want to tell this story in a really profound and professional way. And we were met with support, with resources. We left that experience with 3 producers who said, yes, we believe in the story and the vision of what you guys are making. And we will assist in financing this. And since then, with the encouragement of the community, we've reached out to the community and we've made opportunity for the community to continue to support the documentary and then, have their place in the credits as a result of that. And then also just amplify the production value and the amount of team that we can assemble to dive into this story in order to do it justice. So we've hit the ground running. We've already filmed with Richard on 2 occasions. We have probably nearly 4 hours worth of interview with him. And we have had countless interviews and conversations with others. And we're still in our story finding. So we welcome additional insight and thought. And as the show opened, we look to amplify this story as much as possible, to share it with the entire world, to have this translated in as many languages as possible, to primarily the largest goal would be to go with the pond with the largest number of fish in it. And that would be one of the large 5 OTTs. That's your Apple, Hulu, Netflix, HBO, Amazon. And then regardless of whether we get their participation or not, the goal is to get as many eyeballs on this documentary as absolutely possible worldwide. And so for that, we reach out to the community and ask you guys to reach out to us with any contacts that you have that would assist us in making that possible, as well as visiting the highestofstakes.com, which is the landing page for the website itself, where there's a type form survey that allows you to communicate with us directly, where you can go there and say, hey, look, I have a tremendous story. I know other people that have tremendous stories that should be considered to be a part of this documentary, or here are other resources or connections that I have that I think that your story finding team needs to take a look at and do the mining for the gold to see which nuggets rise to the top with regard to the story that we're creating. And so we welcome the participation and the communication with the entire Hexagon community at all times throughout our entire process. So that's the highestofstakes.com. If you go there and you can see there's the nominated story tab, and that's just you filling that out and letting us know, hey, here's something that you should really take a look at. So that's my elevator speech. Thank God the floor, the building we were on went to the 122nd floor. So I had time to get it all out before we hit the lobby. But that's the
That's a good one, Grant.
Good one. Yeah.
Because they
Awesome.
usually say, what, 30 to 60 seconds or something like that? For that.
Yeah, sure. I generally expand time.
Hey Grant, I don't know if this has been even asked yet, since we're still got a while away before the premiere of the movie. But what about live stream parties for those that will not be attending the premiere in Europe?
Oh, you mean there? So I think that there's a little bit of a confusion about exactly what's happening. So Richard is hosting a 2-year anniversary. 2-year birthday, 2-year anniversary party done December 2nd, December 3rd in London. And there will be a live stream component to that event for those who are unable to attend in person, because this is a celebration of the experience of the community and of Hex. And so as a result of that, I know that they don't want to in any way exclude anyone from participating. The idea is offering opportunities for those on whatever level that they're interested in participating and giving them as much access as we possibly can to as many people. So that's always been the goal, and there will be a live stream component.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, before I suppose, actually, I think I'll go around the room anyway, just in case people have any questions for Grant before we move on to something else. Frank, top right. You're new to HexAsians. Do you want to introduce yourself really, really quickly, and then I'll get you to shoot the question?
Good. Yeah, I'm Frank. I'm an Aussie. I'm currently working on a multilingual website, translating the Hex website into as many languages as I can do. And I'm pretty much here to look for talent. So everybody who wants to help me, just come on and chat to me or text me. We figure out how we're gonna get you on the work. And for Grant, I'm here now on the website here, the Highest of Stake website, and I follow the timeline, and I can see it. I don't know, October 2021 to March 2022. You got the principal production, and the first topic in there is the exclusive coverage of Richard's Heart during post-launch. My question would be then, if that is the exclusive coverage during the post-launch, would post-launch by March 2022 or before or until March 2022?
That is a question that we cannot answer, because that is a Richard question. And it's a question that we ask Richard every time that we see him, every time that we communicate with him. And he is as consistent as the day is long in being able to not commit to any specific timeline for the launch of Pulse. We know nothing. We know nothing more than you guys do.
Yeah. But you would publish it on a website, wouldn't you?
What's that? Oh, I think that this is another one of those moments that I need to go back to the team and have a conversation with them about vocabulary and about expectation, because I think that there was prior to the testnet launch, I think that there was probably greater optimism with regard to the timeline. And so I think, this site being made months ago, I'm not sure that that's been revisited since. So I don't know. We would love, in a perfect world, for us just to know how much of a advocate or how much we stand in shoes with you in wanting to see it launch. It would be better for our film if it launched. So, we are as equally excited about the future launch of that as you are. And that we know nothing more. What we've been told is that they would let us know just prior so that we don't miss it. But aside from that, there is no anticipation. There is no forecasting whatsoever.
The TBD stamp should be just blanketed off for everything. Just stamp.
Right. Yeah. Almost like a tattoo. Yeah, exactly. TBD.
Right.
Very good.
Y'all are also amazing at how much thought and care everybody takes into every little detail of everything that exists on the web, that is a part of something, and And you're very poetic in the way that you interpret things as well. I've noticed, which I think is all, it's good and it's equally good and bad, but there's a lot of poeticism that goes into the interpretation of things.
We're masters of euphemisms as well. We love euphemisms, colorful ones, and we're pretty poor with our punctuation and our grammar, but we definitely like euphemisms and poetic. I like that very much. Yes.
I mean, Grant, we get so key to the detail that early during the HexAsian streams, like many months ago, before Richard disclosed that he was not advertising the correct time on his watches, we were zooming in on his dials of his watches to figure out what time zone it was.
We're intense people. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is fantastic, man. Yeah, it's like hanging out with Sherlock Holmes. Like you gotta really,
exactly. Back in the day, Grant, I think you and I are probably around the same age, but some people would have called us all losers back in the day. But now our bank accounts would beg to differ with that whole thing, right? I guess the meek have truly inherited the earth, haven't they?
I just wanted to add that that's a side effect of people getting bored with the price action, and then they start looking for things that don't exist.
All the conspiracy theories come out.
When's Richard's birthday? What day is he born? Right down to the second, the millisecond. Whatever.
Yeah.
But that was HexAsians.
I was going to say, I heard HexAsians.
Dorsey's already winding me up, isn't he?
What? Oh, there we go.
Yeah. No, Papa is a cunning linguist.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Very much. I used to be a master debater.
So, Grant, I might have another question.
Yes.
Once the movie is done, because I'm into the multilingual website and everything, and I literally want to get every language out. And you already said that you're gonna produce the movie into like multilingual I believe subtitles, not narrators. Is it going to be in subtitles, or how's it going to work?
I think that's a TBD, right? I think that is to be determined. I think that we could look at either as an option. I think that the driving motivator would be clarity as well as budget. So either of those two things will drive that answer. But know that we are not set in stone on what the specifics would look like. Know that we would want to do the best job possible that would create the largest audience in whatever budget we have available to us to actually execute on that. So, we welcome thoughts, feedback, ideas, and anyone who's an expert in that space. We welcome conversation with our team around how we can best plan for executing that plan when we get there. Because the last thing that we want to do is hold this film up from any kind of distribution, because the post-production plan would bottleneck this thing and not allow it to get released. So know that Frank, if you have any specific expertise, thoughts, or advice on that, we welcome you reaching out to the team. And you can just use either that form, or you can use THoS at musestorytelling.com. THoS at musestorytelling.com, and just reach out to the team.
I will have a look. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Let's have a look. I'm just going through the chat and see if there's anything worthy. Chats. If you've got any questions for Grant, feel free to put it through as well. Let's have a look.
Will it be available on video cassette?
VHS?
Would you like Betamax?
Betamax.
Somebody can rip the torrent and create one, and then get it going that way. How's that?
Remember those laser discs too? They were like the size of
oh my god.
LDs, man.
Right.
LD. Oh my god.
You guys remember the originals that actually came in like the permanent case that you had to slip in, and it was actually magnetic? Do you remember this? The video discs? You don't remember
those? No. Haters though, because they were just bad.
Well, I see someone's AK is saying, Grant, why don't you approach Eric Wall as a protagonist? The chat for the team is already doing a lot of work as far as getting the story done. So if you have any way of getting attention of some of these protagonists, feed that to the team.
Antagonist. Yeah, but that's all right. We understood. We know what they meant.
Antagonist.
We know what they meant.
Antagonist.
I said we're bad at grammar, man. Come on.
Yeah, so just use that contact and feed the team with any type of information that will be valid and valuable for the team to use. So yeah, use that link.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
Eric
we
Wall's a
welcome that.
clout chasing monkey. We don't want to give him that credit to be on the same par as Richard. We need a hefty antagonist. We need like a Godzilla versus King Kong. That's what we need.
Exactly. Yeah.
But who's King Kong?
Well, I think the problem is that you can't really have an antagonist in this story. All you can have is morons and fools. Because, well, I mean, you have to understand this is definitional material. This is not opinionated by any means. There's a reason there's a story here, right? Grant, let me ask you, what's the most compelling aspect of the story that you think you're going to tell because you don't actually know, it's not done yet?
Right. So I think it's for me, it's the environment of the inevitability of blockchain and the skepticism around this community, right? And like finding in definitive nature, or at least in allowing the audience to find the answer to that for themselves is it, isn't it? And will it, won't it? Right? Because I think that right now is the subconscious reaction that my mom has to this idea when she's introduced to it in the beginning, right? And so it's wanting to try to satisfy enough of that curiosity for an audience member to let them go do their work, right? To let them, be introduced into this and then go find additional information. But to me, that's it's tremendously fascinating the environment that y'all are in right now and whether or not you're actually going to get there. The limitation of the human mind. AK's on fire.
D-Raj with the funny, perfect.
The comment. Sorry,
Jerome
Grant.
Powell or Janet Yellen should be the final boss.
Yeah, don't think they'll be wanting to join the storyline, but it is funny. But
because
go ahead.
Yeah, because they're going to be solidified in permanent film, and this piece is going to be there forever. So whoever that person is, that's going to be on the opposite end of Hex, they're going to be, I don't know, go down in history as an embarrassment, I guess. I don't know.
Pretty much.
If you can't find one, maybe a community member that's like, someone that's an OG that's disillusioned can actually, can throw their hat in the ring to be the turncoat and like play the other side and say, I did this and I got totally, all my money's gone and I got a bad deal and I'm maybe the only one because look at my bank account, it's gone now. And then, maybe you could pull somebody else out, but I don't think you could do it today. But maybe, someone will say, I'll play the bad guy.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't encourage playing anything. Like we're straight up looking for.
Honesty,
right. Yeah, for sure. The irony of that I see when my narrative filmmaking hat or my fictitious filmmaking hat goes on is I go, what an awesome OPSEC play that some huge whale could make, where they come out in opposition and then all of a sudden they go off into obscurity with all of their bags, and everybody thinks that they're a big hexator, and then they can live publicly with the knowledge that they got a big bag in the back, somewhere else.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I mean? Like that's the way Hollywood would script it, right? If it were wicked that way. But yeah, we're really in search of somebody who firmly believes that Hex is nothing but a scam, always a scam, and will forever be a scam, and then will look to speak intelligently on that idea, with as much passion as Richard has for what he's created, and then because we definitely are looking for that.
Yeah,
that
we're all so starved after 2 years of slogging it out. We are, and I think Kinetics put it very, very well. We are just so starved for a great adversarial position. We want it to be well-founded, and we want somebody that's very familiar with everything, has done their research, has read everything that we put out, understands the mechanics, and still hates it. We want to know. We want them to have a great position. That would be great viewing for us as well. We've wanted that the entire time.
I think the greatest villain would be Tone Vays and his lawyer team, because Tone Vays did that debate with Richard. Where was that, in Singapore? On stream, where Richard just destroyed him on stream, live on stage, and then that stream that they did with Tone Vays and his lawyers. I mean, those guys would probably be the ultimate, villains.
Yeah, but I think the problem there is that them guys just didn't have a clue about what they were just looking foolish.
Yeah, they were just assuming a bunch of things that weren't true. That talk also happened on the day that Hex launched. So
damn.
Yeah.
How stupid do they look?
Yeah.
So that's the problem I'm seeing, right? It's like, well, it's hard to have an antagonist when the debate doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It honestly doesn't exist. It's just everybody's distaste or whatever for Hex is, from my vantage point, strictly related to Richard Hart. Because everything I've looked at, and I'm an outsider. I wasn't here from day one. I showed up on day 330, so I was late to the game relative to most of the people you're talking to right now on the stream. And at that time, I literally spent 60 days looking for holes. Now, I'm a mathematically educated in between quotes person. I've spent a decade on Wall Street. I've spent even more just staring at numbers, just looking at data. And I gotta tell you, whoever sits there and can say this is a scam with a straight face and believe it deserves every Oscar, every year, forever. And if you want, you can even grandfather in the previous ones, because that level of acting and lying is hard to find. Because what you're saying is that math is a lie. You're saying that what you can verifiably prove is not real. You're saying that you're living on a plane that is not this one. Like, what is this? Fairy tale diaries? Like, if the math says 1 + 1 is 2, I highly doubt it's going to change just because somebody said it does. And that's the biggest issue you're going to find with having an antagonist. What are they actually being antagonist against? Is it against the person or the product? And 99.99999% of the time, they're going to mask it as the product, but it's really the person. So good luck, because you have a hard story to tell. From that perspective, you have a hard story to tell.
That's right. Good luck.
Yeah, because a couple of the guys that are in the sizzle reel that was released for, as a feeder for the documentary, a couple of those guys that appear on that sizzle reel have been confirmed to be HexAsians. One of them is that modern day dating guy. I talked to him on his live stream, and he's like, pay him $10,000 in Hex, and he'll do the interview. I'm like, so we already figured out he's not going to be worth it.
Of course not. Nobody's worth paying to tell the truth. We all do it over here for free, and we've been doing it for free for a long time, and nobody here is charging anybody for any valuable information. How would we look paying this individual to just sit there and lie? Completely hypocritical. Don't think so. Just unacceptable. But this is these are the quality of characters that exist in this space. I mean, if you sit there and really look at what's going on, you'll see that most of these people are literally just lying on purpose, and they know it, just for a paycheck. I've caught them multiple times saying so. You can go back to pretty much any stream from anybody outside this community and find them lying and be perfectly okay with it. Says a whole lot.
Sorry, I think I found the perfect faked antagonist. Just give me a second.
I think it's over. I mean, I know I've said this like 20 times now, but I mean, this time it's for real. It's going down. The price is going down. And I mean it this time. And whatever, You don't have to look at the rest of the chart. I just want you to focus on this one little spot right here. And look, the price is finally doomed.
Yeah, Johnny Chaos in a wig.
Johnny does it well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Classic.
God, yeah,
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, the best people that can get those counter arguments are within the community, because we were so versed in all the
aspects of the system.
Well, hit us with your tone bass impression, Papa.
I got to do it under the guise of my my avatar only. I can't do it like real live.
Okay.
I need maybe a beer or something. I don't know. And how embarrassing to put me on the spot. Come on.
Papa, have you ever thought of playing like the bad guy who, because, obviously you're in Japan. So I was hoping maybe you would audition for NHK Studios and just be the bad guy, like the white bad guy. All right.
With my build, all I got from NHK were roles in, TV commercials where they thought that I looked like Mr. Bean back in the day when I was younger. So I got those tests. I was Mr. Quick on the NEC multi-writer ad, and I had my 15 minutes of fame through the multi-writer. Yeah, nobody would ever think that I was the bad guy. I'm just the schlub in the background. Yeah, never gets the girl. Just the comic relief guy that maybe drops a cake and I dropped my cake. I better pick that up. And that would be me.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, man, pays the bills.
Yeah, there was another one that pays the bills. Hang on, where is it again? That one. That one pays the bills.
Nice. It's great. It really does grow hair back too. It works.
Oh man, that is fun.
That's great.
Good. Just going through the chats at the moment and see what we've got. What is this?
Now, Grant, while he's looking, what do you think a good ending would look like in this type of story? Because this isn't really like a story with a type of ending, whether good or bad. It's just whatever it's gonna be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I think that in a perfect storytelling idea, there would be some sort of definitive or penultimate moment. Whether that was some crazy new all-time high for Hex, or whether that was Hex is now at a penny and has sustained that for months on end, or the launch of PulseChain and where that leads to the future of Hex, and maybe introduces a question at the end of it as well, and would favor that we continue to explore where it goes next. So it's the thing that as a storyteller you want to try to avoid is just complacency or anything that is the same, right? Storytelling is about delta, it's about shift, it's about change. And so for us, in pursuing the documentary, the success of the documentary will be best served if there's some dramatic moment, shift, or change within the window of production. Good or bad, right? Like in terms of the story, that definitively that would best serve the documentary.
For sure.
Yeah.
Grant, I would go with the comparison for the community in regards to other crypto communities. So the X community in regards to other crypto communities. So if you have a comparison that, because our community is like, I don't know, they all stick together and working together and try to get the hype for Hex going, while in the other communities you don't have that camaraderie, the friendship between them.
They'll be within the documentary. That theme will be explored unquestionably, for sure. Right? Yeah, yeah. As a part of the arc.
I wonder if another thing, I don't know if this has been thought of yet, but if PulseChain is going to be part of the of this film, if Richard would allow, or if they've already disclosed any of the other cryptos that are gonna consider developing on PulseChain, would there be any interest in interviewing that group?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't anticipate that makes our movie, because our movie needs to have focus, right? Like we really need to try to remain as clean in our story as we possibly can. And the moment that, while there's value in those stories and while there's value to the community to know those answers, I feel like those stories need to live in an alternate platform, right? Like those need to live in either like short biodoc kind of things, or even in live stream conversations where those developers come on, you know what I mean, and are offering insight into what they're working on and can answer questions for the community. I just, unfortunately, there's so much in terms of story here that we have to make as stewards of the story decisions on the focus of it. And I just don't think that you know what I mean? Because again, this documentary is meant to, is meant to speak to my mom and my 12-year-old son, right? Like it's meant to have that kind of breadth. And in the moment that it becomes anything beyond, crypto is already confusing enough. So it's our job to keep it focused.
Simplify it, right?
Simplify. ELI 5, right? Is the goal, while keeping you engaged, entertained, and right, and like on the edge of your seat the entire time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not easy, but we didn't get into it because it's easy.
Correct.
Sorry, I got another question. I forgot. What was it? Let me think about it. I forgot it. Sorry. Something about kids. What was it?
So Grant, speaking of kids, how do you guys think you're going to be able to help a kid understand what a blockchain is, what a crypto is? Because for a kid,
come on. Well, right. So I'm with you on that, with the exception of it's much easier to get a kid to understand that than it is to get my mom to understand that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree there. I'm just curious as to how.
So well, and I think so. What we were looking to do is to create visuals that support the ideas here in production value in a way that will simplify this, right? So we're going to be working with an art director. We're going to be working with a motion controlled robot that's going to be able to to make the same move multiple times. And as a result, you can add and introduce additional visuals over top of the existing path, and looking to create visuals that support and make the argument for us, not only in description for what blockchain is, but the visuals. And so we're going to be taking the months of time that we have during production to find the way to reduce that to its most simple and easy to understand, both in terms of story, but also visuals to support it. And I think that we acknowledge right now that is in part one of the more difficult tasks, is helping to explain and simplify a fair amount of the vocabulary and the underlying foundational technology that is revolutionary and will change the way that we conduct our lives, but at the moment just kind of gets caught in overwhelm by the general public. So we have a strategy for it. I can't tell you at the moment that we've satisfied the specific technique that we're going to use. We have several that we're exploring, and we would welcome, again, any other that you guys can see, or that you have where you're like, oh, like if I were tasked with that, this is exactly what I would do, right? Like I would go use these models or these analogies or this metaphor in order to help explain it to a child.
How many star wipes will you be using on this documentary?
I can say definitively, without question, that would be 0.
I'm out.
You're out. If there's no star wipes in it, we're out. Yeah, no, that we're very excited to be introducing a production value to this that is generally unheard of or seen in the docu space. And that is one that, that we're very excited about introducing into this world. So
What doesn't Hex do the best? Now we're adding documentaries to the list. Ain't that something? What else is next? I mean, if you've seen that sizzle reel, you understand what I'm saying. Because a documentary does never look like that. It never looks like that. Like, I hope people that are watching understand that. So, once again, what don't we do better? And it's not a coincidence, right? I mean, everything that's happening here is happening for a reason. I think that the promised coin space has run its course, and this is what you're seeing, right? This small cohort of people known as HexAsians are just a group of people that were tired of nonsense. We're tired of pump and dumps. We're tired in general of the mainstream state of things. So the only way you find something like this, understand it and stick with it, is by being actually tired and not wanting to go back and look back. Now, in my experience, it's been the case that mostly anybody that's found their way to Hex has done so by doing research and this and that and the other. It's not because clearly it's not promoted, it's not pumped, right? It's not all of these things that we're used to seeing. So that, I think, is going to be an interesting aspect of the story to tell if you guys plan on telling that, because I think that that's going to add just a level of uniqueness to the story that you're not going to find in the promised coin space in general. Because, I think the difference here is that the people that are coming to Hex understand, once they realize what Hex is, that this is superior for A, B, C reasons, right? And they can name them. But I think that reality is just missed in the conversation, because a lot of the people that find Hex, outside of the ones that happen to find it and this be their first investment rodeo, those of us that have been around the block, I mean, there's just nothing better. This is the top of the top for very simple reasons. And I think that those simple reasons are just missed because while they're nuanced and simple, until you've been beat down a few times by the market, you don't really get it. People think you can just buy something. And I was actually having this little conversation earlier with some folks, with just the realization that the type of returns that crypto yields are unheard of, period. Like, not even in options can you really talk in X's like that. A 10X is a phenomenal trade on Wall Street. I mean, phenomenal. Like, you're talking about that for fucking decade, right? So here comes this asset class, which generates 10X's on a weekly basis. And nobody really understands it. Nobody really is being shown the power in this reality, because it's been real for 12, 13 years at this point. And a lot of people are still calling it a scam. And now, every time a new iteration of this technology is released, with Hex being the latest iteration, first it was Bitcoin, then Ethereum, now Hex, it's always a scam, right? But here we are discussing all of these verifiable mathematical data points. I mean, what more do you want? What more do you need? Right? And I mean, not only did we take the very basic definition of what the cryptocurrency is and create it, but we're the only folks that understand it. I mean, everybody does not realize there's like very few cryptocurrencies and like everything else is a promise coin. Like, that's so important, because understanding that is going to separate the winners from the losers as far as long-term holding goes. Because this is it's going to be it's going to marathon, right? Not a sprint. So it's going to be interesting. I think we're all going to be shocked within 10 years. And I think that's what makes this story that Grant is going to get to tell in his team just so exciting, because this is really the ground floor of what crypto is actually going to be. It's on us to ensure that it stays that way, because we are the leaders of the space, whether we want to be or not. because there is no real crypto space. It's just a bunch of wannabe Wall Street stuff. So,
what about Floki Inu?
what about it?
Have you right? Like, have you seen this thing? Yeah. So I think that what's wild about it to me is that y'all aren't just fighting against what people feel Hex is. The entire environment is so volatile and so full of scam and so full of an introduction into the space through something like Floki Inu that, man, it's it can be an exhaustive environment for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then you got supposed geniuses like Elon Musk talking about other crap like Shiba and Doge.
Yeah. Or and then the other there are financial advising type of personalities on YouTube that are now coming out and promoting and pushing it as well. Right. I mean, people with millions of subscribers on their channels who's now come out and taken sponsored positions where they're pushing and pumping these coins or tokens. It's wild.
Very and that just goes to show, right? I mean, we're talking about thousands of coins, thousands, right? Just like there's thousands of stocks. But when you sit there and look at what this is supposed to be, operative term, and then you look at what it actually is, there's a major disconnect. Because that's not to say there can't be thousands of coins. The question is, why are there thousands of the same coin? That's the question. Because that's what we have in reality. We don't have a market. We have a bunch of the same crap just floating around. And I think that once the space, like, not to get off track, but I think that PulseChain is going to give the space that room that it needs to actually become what it's supposed to become. Because the standard is going to be set. Right? Like, of course, people are going to bring their crap, but their crap isn't going to succeed when there's a standard set. Right? When you look at Ethereum and you look at all the other chains, there's like really not a standard. It's just whatever comes, and whatever stays.
Hey, Hex Chavez, can you either pull over or mute your microphone? Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Normally it's Wales with a Telemundo, but now it's Hex Chavez with his car in the background.
We're growing.
He's like, well, I'm streaming. Sorry, Wales. Go ahead.
No. You're good, man.
No.
It's just exciting, right? I mean, that's really what I'm trying to say. But in long form, it's just very exciting to be a part of this, to be at the floor, to be on the right side of history. Like, you got to know you're on the right side of history when you're just not debating anything that's just there. Right? Like, people are trying to fight was just there.
Yep.
Like, it's kind of weird. Like, how are you fighting math? I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, we have 130 watching and we have 59 likes. The likes is what's going to get this stream in front of more eyeballs. So please minimize the video or hit that chat or that like button real quick and continue on contributing in the chat. Thank you.
I missed.
That was
like,
great.
What?
Damn it! I missed the dump again. Damn it!
What dump?
Ooh, nice.
Exactly what dump. That was great. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go and I'll be right back, guys. It's already done. Shit.
Motley already bought it back up.
Right.
Yeah. And collect.
And it's gone. Yeah, it's kind of funny, man. It's kind of funny. I mean, think about it. How can you sit there and debate whether 1 + 1 is 2 or 3? I mean, this is the conversation that the whole space is having, and they don't realize it because they're not trying to understand. And I think that that's the bigger issue that we're just dealing with worldwide at the moment. But it's clearly a problem in this space because the whole purpose of this space is to remove third parties, and they're just trying to create avenues to keep injecting them in here. And we have to keep fighting that because that's contra the whole purpose of this whole industry. If we're just going to replicate what already exists, then what are we actually doing? Nothing. Just wasting time. So that's just that. Those are just my thoughts on it. But I think that this story is gonna set the tone for the future. Honestly.
Wales, just to add to your point, so like what you're saying, people are kind of in a denial a little bit, where the world's obviously burning, and then go, yeah, that's all fine, and then it became our turn where the fire feels bad, and it's surrounded by a room full of whatever, and go, this is fine.
That's funny.
Anyway,
if I could make a suggestion on another Hexican to possibly make an appearance in the movie and to appeal to the older audience is I know we have Crypto Grandma, or I don't know what she goes by now, but if she has a compelling story to tell and to reach out to the not only to the grandkids, because she has grandkids that she's helping out with Hex, but also maybe those in her age group that
she's been gone for a while though. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been staying pretty low key after an incident she had, I think, where she I think got scammed out of some hex.
Yeah.
Fell for a little like social engineering incident.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still like the Wild West out here in terms of people understanding what's actually going on and the power that they have, right? Because this is the whole thing. When you're talking about removing third parties, that means that you're responsible. And you're responsible for every facet of those funds and how they're housed, how they're taken care of, how they're spent, how they earn other money if they do, right? Whatever you do with your funds, that's on you. And I think that is a new aspect of life that for most people, when you're not used to being responsible or having to be responsible, it's a learning process. And I mean, we all go through it. I've been hacked. I think everybody's pretty much been hacked to one degree or another, or lost some coins in one shape or form. Whether it's losing your keys or whatever, like it's really one and the same, whether it's hacked or losing your keys. Because once you lose it, it's gone. You can't really recover it. And that's a lesson we all learn if we don't really sit down and do our due diligence beforehand. So important life lessons coming up for a lot of people.
D-Raj is contractually obligated to be only in The Man with the Golden Mic in terms of documentaries. Right. Yes. Yes.
You need to have them.
A man and his microphone. In the dream.
And all the haters that doubted him.
Gas is a bit cheap at the moment. I was just watching this. It's down at 80 now.
What a deal.
Yeah. I bought some before. I bought some at 18 because the gas was like at 65, 70 earlier. So
that was good.
Yeah.
It's only $22 to send your Hex to your other wallet for Hex.
Right next door. Like not even
right.
Not even
one wallet to another wallet.
Yeah. Not even a microbyte away. You gotta pay $22 for that.
$22. Remember what they said about Bitcoin, back in 2017? $20. Who's gonna pay that transaction fee? I paid $765 for an unstake the other day.
Unstake. Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
So sorry, Grant.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Are you taking any testimonials also? And if so, where can people send them?
Use the same survey button on the website. Yep, same thing. So regardless of whether that's to nominate somebody else's story or to share your own, that's the best place to begin. Yep, is to fill that out, and our team will aggregate and go from there.
No worries. Yeah, I think on the end you're gonna have a lot of material and not enough space. Like the film going to be about 5-6 hours long or so.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because all the people sending all testimonials.
Yeah.
Well, what time frame are you guys aiming for? Does it just depend on how the story ends up?
No, I mean, I think in a perfect world, this releases end of Q3, sometime in Q4.
Oh, no. I mean length of the cut. Length of.
I would say plus or minus 90 minutes. would be, one of these kind of a thing.
Right.
Kind of a deal. So, in terms of you have to be, they have formalized some of these things as it relates to whether this is a short documentary or a feature length. And I think that it has to exceed 56 minutes or something of the accord in order to be a feature length doc rather than a short documentary.
Got it. Okay.
But in terms of audience expectation and, to meet some kind of norm, plus or minus 90 minutes is a benchmark.
Cool.
Oh, why not a limited miniseries?
I think that we have had to have those discussions as a creative team, right? Like, in what form will this take? Because you could do this. This could be an ongoing web series that would, that would take release weekly for 3 years. We've determined that we felt like in order to reach the largest audience and to do it in a way that honored this story best, a feature-length doc was the best container for the story, and then to go from there. So it's our goal to make the most engaging feature-length documentary that we can, rather than to have gone into that miniseries environment.
Just wondering about the pool, competitive pool for limited miniseries in the Academy Awards pool, whether or not that's it's like a big fish in a small pond, so to speak, versus the documentary pool.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, appreciate the thought that we're already having an eye on this kind of a thing, but we're not creating it for awards, right? If that happens, bonus. But wanting to reach the largest audience, we felt like that's the way to handle. And all story needs incredible conflict, and while there is collective conflict in the Hexagon story, we're having a difficult time, at the moment, identifying that one singular oppositional voice. And the moment that you go into series, each and every one of them would then need to have its own conflict, right? And so it becomes more of a challenge when you think about story structure. And so, right, that's why we have felt like this is the best form for this story.
Got it.
Yeah.
One of a trilogy, then. Okay, great. I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, right. Hey, you've already heard that I think that we love the idea of some kind of a tease on the backside of this that would invite additional story. So, and that is if the story warrants it, right?
I think Papa wants a mini series on himself. Papa Boner wakes up at 7 a.m. Oh, what are we having, honey?
First of all, I've never woken up at 7 a.m. Second of all, honey, that's her getting out of bed saying, "Cook me breakfast, you slob."
No, that's the start of a murder series, right?
Yeah.
How to kill your rich hex husband and steal his private keys.
Yep.
And all the titanium plates.
Yep. I found the plates. Now I can get away from it all. Meet me in the lobby and get those, get the plane taxied on the tarmac. I'll be there.
Done.
Yep.
When you hear a gunshot.
Anyone. Yeah.
No, I was about to say you hear a gunshot 100 meters. Oh my.
That sounds like a gun. I don't know if y'all been in the hood like I've been in the hood. I grew up in the hood, and that sounds like a gun.
Oh, that was funny.
All right, I think on that note, I think it's time to end. We've gone past an hour. Chats, do you have anything else for Grant or anyone else really?
Yeah, I would like to know how many tickets are left for the London meetup.
That's a fantastic question. One that I don't know specific to. The last I heard, I know everybody thinks that I'm in. We're a large team and I don't have access to everything. I think the last I had heard that we're 150, and that was a couple days ago. So I would say that we're down to nearer the end of it would be my expectation. So if you're on the fence, I would take action. And
what's the link to that, Grant? Shoot the link out for us.
Yeah, hex731gathering.com. Hex731gathering.com.
There you guys go. Make sure to hit it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
731 gathering.
I'll just put it on the chat as well.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Go. That's the one.
There you go.
That's it.
Beautiful.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, beautiful people. It's time to call an end. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back Thursday, regular programming again. I think we skipped out on the last Thursday. I had some issues. But other than that, all good. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks,
Thank
Grant.
you all.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Grant.
Thank you, Grant.
Thanks.
Great having you. Yeah.
Have a nice day, nice morning.
Have a wonderful day.
HexAsians is a proud member of the Discourse Syndicate Network.